Hi there. I am so happy to be back to filming again. Finally, I have some extra time. So I am hoping to film today a really good workout specifically for the hip flexors and then hit some of my favorite hip flexor releases. So this is going to be a workout that's really going to support you if you experience any low back SI pain or knee pain. That being said, if you're currently going through any chronic pain right now, I don't know if I'll recommend this practice for you, but if you're in your recovery or in physical therapy or you have a recent injury that you just are trying to maintain, this is some great preventative stuff here that will help with some knee pain, some hip pain, especially for athletes, triathletes. So we're going to get started today. You might want to have some blocks. If you have a sensitive knee, or sensitive knees, please have a blanket nearby. And if you have really tight hamstrings, you might also want to have 2 blocks with you. But we will get started without any props, just standing on your mat with your feet hips width distance. So this is kind of like a yoga flow slash strength builder. So it'll be about a half an hour long. Turn your palms forward, press your feet down, and close your eyes for just a second. And even though it's not a full yoga class, can you take this moment to just take a big breath in through your nose and exhale out the mouth. Inhale in as you push your feet down, and like a rocket ship with your exhale, lift up through the crown of your head. And take a few more breaths here. Feel your feet and the texture of the ground underneath you. And we'll start with just this moment of pausing, checking in, feeling into your body. And we'll start with your next breath in. Reach the arms up. You can open the eyes if you like. And as you exhale, bend the knees forward, fold, and then straighten the legs as much as you can. Find a halfway lift by bringing your hands onto your shins. Rock your weight forward. And then as you exhale, forward fold again. Bend the knees as much as you need here. Inhale, take your arms around and up, reaching up towards your ceiling. And exhale, forward fold with your knees bent again. So starting with some breath to movement. Inhale, halfway lift, straighten the arms as you lift your chest. And as you exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, reach the arms up, push the hands together. And exhale, forward fold right back down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, rise up, reach the arms around and up. Exhale the hands to your heart. And now we'll start with the hands on your hips and shift the weight. I'm going to mirror you. So shift the weight into your left foot and draw your right knee up towards your chest. So find your balance. You might wobble a little to start, but first start by just flexing the toes towards your shin. And then from here, carry that leg out to your right as much as you can. And keep your hips square forward. Now from here, cross your right shin behind your left. And then roll your inner thigh in. So now that foot kind of kicks out to your right. Bring your knee back up. Roll the thigh out to the side again. And cross the calves behind you. Great, now do that a few times. Roll the thigh in. Lift the knee up. Carry it to the side. Again, cross your shins. Roll the thigh in. Bring the knee up, carry it to the side, hold. Now switching the directions, whoa. Bring the leg back through center, roll the thigh in, bring the knees together. Roll the thigh out now, bring the knee out to the side. Back through center, roll the knee in, knees together, roll the thigh out. So it's a little bit of brain work. Knee out, into center, roll in as you join the knees. Last time, draw the thigh out. Bring the knee up and then hold here, find a tree pose. You can hold on to the ankle and place the foot on your thigh or tap the toes to the floor for a little more support with your balance. So starting by pushing that left foot into the floor, really working up that left gluteus medius. Hands can come into prayer. Push that foot into the ground. This is also called tree pose in yoga. And then slowly we'll step your feet back together, shake it out. And then from here, we'll do the same thing on the other side. Bring your hands onto your hips to start. Bring your hands on your hips. Come Come onto the ball of your left foot, find your balance, and then draw the left knee in. Great. Now carry the leg out to your left, cross the calves behind you, roll the thigh in, bring the knee back up. And continue out to the side, cross the calves, roll the thigh in, bring it up. Roll to the side, cross the calves, roll the thigh in, bring it up. Carry the leg out to the side, this time hold, switch directions. Bring the knee back in, roll the thigh in, join your knees. Roll the thigh out, bring the knee out to the left. In through center, roll the thigh in, join the knees, roll the thigh out, bring it out to the side. Thigh in, roll in, join the knees, roll out to the side. Now hold here, tree pose. Woo, woo, woo. Bring the foot onto your calf. When you're ready, hands to heart center. And that foot can come above your knee on your inner thigh as well as this more advanced variation. Finding your balance. Now keep pressing your right foot into the floor, almost like you wanted to push the floor down away from you and you could lift your foot up evenly up to float. And then slowly bring your legs back together and shake it out. Great. Now, take your feet hips width distance, again, turning your toes straight forward. Now, take your arms up alongside your ears. Notice if when you bring your arms up, your chest puffs out and you get like a back bend feeling. So bring the front of your ribs in, take your tailbone down so you have a strong core, and then sit your hips back and down into a chair pose. Now from here, look at your toes. Make sure you can see them in front of your knees. So your hips are moving back and down, and your tailbone is moving down as you reach up and out. Now from here, shift the weight into your right foot. Hover your left foot just an inch off the mat. Great. Now step and switch. Lift the right foot up, hover, and step and switch. The left foot hovers. And now from here, draw the left knee in as you take the arms down. Come back into that chair pose with your exhale. Now try to slow down your descent. Inhale, lift your right foot up. Exhale, stand tall. Inhale, feet together, chair pose. Exhale, hover your left foot up. Exhale, stand. Inhale, chair, slow it down. Exhale, right foot hovers. Exhale, stand. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, hover your left foot. Inhale, stand. Chair pose. Hover the right foot. Stand. Chair pose. Last time each side, hover the left foot. Chair pose, or stand, exhale. Inhale, chair. Exhale, hover the right foot. Inhale, or exhale here, excuse me, and inhale, chair. Now hold in this exhale for your chair, sit the hips lower. Reach the arms out, and then staying in your chair pose, take your arms parallel to the floor. Reach your left arm forward, right arm sweeps back, opening into a twist in your upper rib cage. Take a full breath in, and a full breath out. Chair pose as you breathe in, arms parallel to the floor. Exhale, sweep your left arm back, open twist. Full breath in, full breath out. Inhale, chair pose, arms parallel to the floor, and exhale, forward fold. Hallelujah. Walk your hands forward and your feet back into a downward facing dog. Take a breath or two there in your down dog. So we've got a few more warm-ups before we get to the stretches, but we'll start by just pausing here and pedaling out your feet. Now we'll warm up a little more into the core and your shoulders. So from here, bring your shoulders over your wrists in a plank pose. If you need to, you can always tap the knees down for like a tabletop or a modified plank. Otherwise, lift your knees up, firm your legs, and take your feet a little bit wider than your outer hips. So you have a nice steady base. Take your hands as wide as the mat. Now from here, lift your right leg up, breathe in, knee to nose with your breath out. Round your chin to your chest. Inhale, step it back into plank, and exhale the left knee into the chest. Inhale, step it back. Exhale, right knee in. Inhale, back. Exhale, left knee in. Inhale, back. Down dog with your exhale. Hold for a breath in. Hold for a breath out. Second set, inhale, shift forward, plank pose. Exhale, right knee into your nose. Inhale, step it back. Exhale, the left knee in. Inhale, step it back. Exhale, the right knee in. Inhale, step it back. Exhale, the left knee in. Inhale, step it back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breath in. And a breath out. Taking one more set. Inhale, plank pose. You've got it. Exhale, right knee in. Inhale, back. Exhale, left knee in. Inhale, back. Two more. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Last time, you've got it. Inhale. Draw the right knee in. Left knee in last time. Step it back. Downward facing dog. Find a child's pose. Tap the knees down. Reach the arms back. Feel that shoulder burn. And slow down the breath. And then slowly we'll come up and shift onto your back and come to lay down on your back. Man, my shoulders are burning from that. I hope you were able to stay with it. And even if you can't, feel free to, do what you can and then watch this video again and start to build your stamina up. Take your hands face down now alongside your hips and tuck your shoulders underneath you. Now, if you have a yoga mat and you're laying on it, you can take a handful of your mat on either side of your mat, on either side of your hips. Now, push your feet into the ground and lift your hips up. And try to keep your toes pointing forward and ground through the big toes. Now, from here, just like when we were in our chair marches, lift your right foot just an inch off the floor. And now step it back down. Hover the left foot an inch off the floor. Step it back down. Right foot hovers and left foot hovers. And now continue these little bridge marches. Notice if one side feels much weaker, this is a great place to start to do some self-study and seeing where the imbalance is in your body. Where does the work need to be done? About one more time each side. And then slowly let the hips come down, Relax your arms, cactus them to the sides, and wiggle your feet as wide as your mat or as wide as your outer hips. And now just windshield wiper the legs right and left. We're going to do one more set of that. And I can't recommend enough, if this is an exercise where you feel like one side is especially difficult for you, then practice this every day. It doesn't take much to strengthen these small muscles, but just consistency is really the key. So take the hands face down again alongside your hips, tuck the shoulder blades under you, push into your feet, lift your hips up. Toes, try to stay pointing forward, ground through your hands. Lift your right foot to hover, step it down. Left foot hovers, step it down. And switch right, left, right, left. Two more each side. Right foot up, left foot up. Last time right and left. And then both feet down, lower all the way down. Draw the knees into your chest, give yourself a hug, rock a little bit, side to side, right and left. Where are we at with time? Okay. Great. Got about one more strengthener here. Bring the hands behind the backs of your thighs, kind of rock and roll up and down your spine 3 or 4 times from shoulders to hips. And then come all the way up to sit. And now we'll sit here with the legs out in front of you. And bring them about the same width as we had when we were windshield wipering before. So they're not hips width distance, but about as wide as a yoga mat. And then from here, bring the hands in front of your heart to prayer. You can put your fists together. You can hold on to a fist, whatever you want. I'm going to take them in Anjali Mudra. Now from here, drop both knees to your right. Try not to touch the ground if you can. Come back up through center and drop both to your left. So this is really hip mobility. Bring the legs back in and off to your right. And you try to keep the spine straight the whole time. Back up through center and then off to your left. So that a few more times either side. I find that I tend to travel. So if you're sort of moving forward on your mat, that's okay. Just notice. Okay, and the next time you're rocking over to your right, pause on your right hand side. And now bring your hands down on the floor somewhere and lift your left leg up. Just the foot, excuse me. Lift your left foot up and just do a few pulses there. Lifting the leg up, and you want that leg to stay at a 90-degree angle as much as you can. Just getting that little bit of hip strengthener in there. A really small group of muscles in there that work to stabilize the hip. And then slowly lower that foot down. Come back up to seated, bring your hands to heart, and rotate all the way to the other side. And again, bring your hands down. Lift your right foot up now a few inches, just pulsing. And here's another place where you can practice that self-study. Is one side way more mobile than the other? Or is one side really shaking where the other side is kind of not really feeling too much heat? You just start to notice the imbalances in your body. We all have them, but these practices really help to just shine light so we can start to prevent injuries. Place the foot back down, come back up to sit, bring the hands to heart center and rotate all the way to the right. So now we're going to start to get into some more stretches. So bring the hands back down in front of your right shin again. And now we're going to stay in this stretch. So if this is feeling like a good stretch, stay where you are. Otherwise, you might lower onto your forearms. If you're a real big fan of pigeon pose, you might also straighten your left leg back behind you for a more traditional yogic pigeon. Otherwise, you can stay in this. I've seen this called shin box before, or 90-90. Listening to your body here today. And we'll hold this for about a minute, so just come back to your deep breathing. And then slowly start to come onto your hands if you've lowered onto your forearms. If you've straightened your back leg, bend it back in. And we'll switch to your opposite side. Bring your knees to your left. Left shin is parallel to the front of your mat or a 90-degree angle. Bring your hands down. Maybe lower onto your forearms if you'd like to deepen. And then again, that deepest variation of straightening your back leg is an option as well. But listening to your body, you don't always have to go to the deepest. Sometimes it's a nice challenge to see if you can find the stretch when it's more subtle as a way of going more inwards. I'm holding on this side for about a minute. And then we'll slowly start to press back up to your seat. Come all the way back around to your seated with the legs in front of you. And now we'll come into your tabletop position. And then once you come into your tabletop, step your right foot outside your right hand and wiggle that foot forward for lizard pose. Now from here, keep your left hand on the mat. Come onto your right hand onto your right thigh. And now push your right thigh to the right as you lean back. So you might rock onto the outer edge of that right foot and then pushing to lean your chest and your heart back. Slowly plant that foot back down. Now from here, you can stay with your hand on the mat and maybe reach for your back foot with your hands. Otherwise, if you have really tight quadriceps, you might choose to take these props that we have now, maybe one blanket underneath your back knee, one block under your left hand, so you can reach back. And I'm not mirroring you now, I'm doing the same side. So my right leg is forward, my left foot is in my left hand. Now if you're very flexible here, you might not use the block, but also use the blanket. So everybody's gonna be different. So don't not use a prop because you wanna be at the maximum. No, everybody's different parts of your life. You might need things. So just take what you need, leave what you don't. And then we'll slowly release that back foot. Bring your hands now to frame your right foot and heel toe your right foot to the middle of your mat. And now walk your hands, or maybe use both of your blocks now for a half splits pose, straightening your right leg. So flex the right toes towards you as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, point your right toes. Try to touch the sole of your foot to the mat. Inhale, flex the toes. Exhale, point the toes. Inhale, flex. Exhale, point. Now hold pointed for a breath in and a breath out. Inhale, flex the toes, and now turn your toes to the right as much as you can. Maybe the pinky toe comes to the mat, doesn't have to, but it's moving in that direction. Now from here, keep your left hand down, reach your right arm up into a twist. And again, blocks can really come in handy here, so maybe turn your toes just 1 millimeter more to the right. And then bring both hands back down, turn your toes forward, rebend your front knee. Now from here, tuck your toes, lift your back leg up, and hop the foot in a little so you can ground the heel down. Now use your blocks or your hands on the mat and re-straighten your right leg. This is called pyramid pose. Now keep your left hand on the floor or on a block inside your right leg, and take your right hand to your sacrum or your low back. And start to turn your chest to the right as you push your right foot down. Try to keep your hips even towards the floor. So continue to draw the right hip back. Maybe reach the right arm up and look at your right thumb. Push your back heel down. And then soften your front knee. Bring both your hands back to the mat. Come onto the ball of your back foot. Bring your knee back down and come back into your tabletop position. You can move the blocks to the side. And now from here, step your left foot outside your left hand. Wiggle that foot forward or move your back knee back into your lizard variation. Now once you're in your lizard variation, you can always pad the back knee when it's on the mat. So feel free to take any padding that you need on your knee. Take your left hand onto your left thigh. Push the thigh to the left. I'm going to switch directions. Push the thigh to the left so you can rotate onto the outer edge of that left foot maybe, or that knee just moves slightly to the left. And turn your chest. And then slowly come all the way back into center. Heel toe that foot between your hands now and find a half split. Walk the hands back to straighten the left leg. As you inhale, flex the toes towards you. And as you exhale, point the toes. Oh, I forgot the quad stretch. We'll get it. Inhale, flex the toes. And exhale to point. Inhale to flex. Last time to point. Now hold pointed for a breath in. And a breath out. Inhale to reflex the toes. And then turn your left pinky toe towards the left side of your mat. Now keep your right hand down on the floor or a block. Reach your left arm up to the ceiling for an open twist. Maybe get that 1 more millimeter of turn of your pinky toe to the left, really getting into your IT band. And then slowly land your hands back down, turn your toes up and rebend your knee. And now heel toe that left foot to the left side of your mat. You might use the blanket underneath your knee to reach your left arm back for the top of your right foot. Now if you can't reach the foot and you find that you're like here, take that block underneath your right hand like I showed in the variation on the other side. One more big breath here. And then slowly release that back foot. Heel toe your left foot between your hands. Tuck your toes, lift your back leg up, and hop your foot in so you can ground the heel down. Re-straighten the left leg and maybe find your blocks here or come onto your fingertips. Straighten the left leg. Now keep your right hand down on the floor or a block as you reach the left hand to your low back. Draw the left hip back. Try to square your hips to the mat by pushing evenly into your feet. And then maybe you reach the arm up to the ceiling. One more breath. And then slowly rebend your front knee. Plant your back knee down. Come back into your tabletop position. Sway the hips just a little bit, right and left. And now from here, we'll come to a seat. You might want to keep a block nearby, especially if you have sensitive knees here. So we'll come to a seat. Bring your legs out in front of you. I'm going to mirror you now. So bring your right knee in, coming into a half hero pose. So this is where maybe your knee isn't going to allow you to do that. So sitting up on a block or even 2 blocks, or if you don't have blocks at home, you could sit up on a pillow, a few pillows. So I'm on the top of my right foot. I'll turn this way. It'll probably be easiest for you to see. Now from here, bend your left knee, take your left foot flat onto the floor and lean back into your hands. Now come onto the back of your pelvis. You can just lift your hips up and come onto the back of your pelvis and your tailbone. And then push into your left foot. Lift your chest up, and you might also lift your hips up and let your head fall back. Tucking the tailbone, really maximizing the stretch in your right hip. Keep your right knee on the mat. One more breath. And then slowly lower the hips down. Come all the way up. And now we'll switch sides. So bring your left leg into your half hero pose, your right foot flat onto the floor. And maybe you needed a block on one side and you don't on the other. So if you need to adjust here, then adjust for whichever side you need. Take the hands on the floor behind you. Lift your hips, come onto the back of your pelvis and pause. This might be enough stretch for you. So if it is, stay. Otherwise, push into your hands, push into your right foot, lift your hips up. Maybe let the head fall back. Steady breath. And then slowly let the hips come down. Release the left leg forward. If you're on the block, move it off to the side. So we've got one more stretch here, and for this one I highly recommend using the blanket and your blocks. We'll come to a wall for this stretch. I've heard this stretch called the King Arthur before. I really find it to be, what time is it? Yeah. Okay, so we're just getting closer to the 30-minute mark, which is perfect because we're just at the last 2 exercises here. So if you're coming into this pose with me, use the blanket underneath your knees, use your blocks underneath your hands. Now if you don't want to use props, that's totally fine. It's possible to do without props. So I'm on both of my knees here. So from here, I'm going to step. No, actually first, let's start with your right knee. So I'm gonna mirror you. Yeah, I'll mirror you. So let's start with your left knee then. Bring your left knee and shin onto the wall. See, so my left top of my foot is on the wall. Walk the blocks a little in towards you so you can step your right foot between your hands. Now from here, this is probably enough. So you can just let the hips kind of move forward. If you're like really open in your hip flexors or you just are looking for a deeper stretch, start pushing your hips towards the wall. Maybe you can take your hands onto the wall. Now if like your foot is coming right to your sit bone, move it a little to your left so you can start to push your hips inside your knee. Maybe you move your front foot closer. If this is really coming along, Then keep pushing both of your sit bones towards the wall equally. Otherwise, stay exactly where you are. One more breath. And then slowly come out of the bend of your front knee. Bring your front knee down. Bring both of your knees back down. And now from here, we'll do the same thing on the other side. Bring your right leg, up the wall. So the top of your foot is on the wall. Step your left foot between your hands. Wiggle that foot forward so you can let the hips start to move forward and down, lifting the chest. Now you can stay here again, or you can start to push your hips towards the wall, maybe moving your right foot off to the right. It's helpful to have these two doorknobs here. I can just hold and actually pull to deepen the stretch. One more breath. And then slowly bring your left knee back down, bring your right knee back down, and come out of the stretch. And now we'll end with just a few minutes of legs up the wall. So I will show you how to come into this pose using a blanket. So you can fold up your blanket just so you have something soft to rest your upper body on. And I like to take it this long ways. So it actually supporting my upper back, and then my head is on the floor. So if you don't want your head on the floor for some reason, you can take another blanket and take it behind your neck. Otherwise, you'll come to sit next to the blanket and then roll your body up until your legs are up the wall. So you'll notice my head is on the floor. I don't know if you can see that from there. And my legs are up the wall. If it feels like your legs are going to fall apart, you can always take a belt and put them around your thighs or your calves. You could take the arms wherever feels comfortable. Cactusing the arms will give you a little bit of a more chest opener. But you can take them wherever feels good. And we'll just rest in this pose for a few minutes. So if you have the time to stay, I highly recommend that you stay. Just reversing the blood flow, which will also help to send fresh oxygenated blood to our lower half when we arise. So that also helps with the healing process of any damaged tissue or connective tissue. So just take a few breaths here. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. As we rest in silence a few minutes. And start to just take a few deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And when you're ready, bend the knees, take the feet flat onto the wall. Just feel the texture of the wall under the soles of your feet. And then roll over onto one side. And slowly press yourself up. And thank you so much for taking this time. I hope that it was helpful for you. If it felt challenging, I recommend to do it again and maybe incorporate it once a week into your workout, either watching the video or just learning the routine and practicing it when you have time. So again, my name is Jenna. If you have any requests or any feedback, please feel free to leave it in the comments below, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.